Introducing the brand new Acer Nitro 5. This is the 2020 edition, and this whole laptop right here, I would consider it as a budget gaming laptop because this one that we have here is in the highest configuration available and it is priced at 4,899 ringgit. With its specs though, I would say it's a good laptop, but of course the specs is not the full story, so there are a few things that you need to take note of, which I will tell you in this video. So let's start off with the specs first. This laptop that we have here comes with a Core i7-10750H, 6-core 12-thread processor, and then a GTX 1660 Ti, 16 gigs of RAM, and it's pretty much all you can ask for a mid-range gaming laptop at this price. And in terms of performance, it is as expected. You can play most of your games at higher settings at a pretty comfortable frame rate. But if you want to make use of the 144Hz, of course, obviously you have to drop down some of the graphical settings. But that's pretty much the same story like any other mid-range gaming laptops with this kind of refresh rate. As for the temperatures, it's actually surprisingly good. GPU temperature is as expected, it's very well managed, but the CPU can sometimes spike a little high, but because that is due to Intel's turbo boost frequency. But overall average temperature is good enough. Onwards, outside of the specs itself, this laptop comes with a pretty edgy design. Literally edgy, because at first glance this doesn't really strike to me as a gaming laptop, but when you start to look at the overall build quality and all of the embellishments and whatnot, you can see that this is practically a rectangular block with some of its corner chopped off, and because of that, this laptop is pretty sharp around the edges. You can see that even the deck itself, it's a 90-degree edge between the side of the laptop here, even the front, and the keyboard deck itself, which is something that I'm not really keen of, because when you're typing on this laptop, this 90-degree corner will literally just bite into your flesh. Overall build quality material itself, the lid, it comes with this piece of smooth plastic. It does look nice, but of course it's a fingerprint magnet. And overall build quality here is also mostly plastic, I would say. Nothing to really complain about since it's kind of well built, but I do wish that they use some sort of tougher plastic for certain parts of the laptop. Okay, so as for the keyboard itself, this keyboard in itself, I would say it's pretty okay to type on. Not much of an issue. It does come with a number pad as well, because obviously this is a 15.6-inch screen laptop, and number pad is pretty much useful for some use cases. And as you can see, the entire alphanumeric cluster on the keyboard itself has been shifted very much to the left side, and this is using pretty much a edge-to-edge type of keyboard. You can see that the sides are pretty thin, and because of that, Acer also decided to move the trackpad itself to follow the spacebar of the keyboard itself. And if you draw a perpendicular line from the spacebar itself, you can see that the center of the trackpad is actually in line. So the trackpad in itself, I wouldn't complain it that much, but when you combine this weird layout together, the keyboard's shifted typing area and also the trackpad itself, I would say that the trackpad has been shifted all the way to the left, and there's just not much space left for your palm to rest on. And that is actually quite a big issue for me personally, because when I started to use this laptop like a laptop, the cursor is literally just disco dancing entire screen, and I actually accidentally deleted a large portion of this review because of the cursor just jumping around. And yeah, I find that to be really frustrating, but I don't know how they can fix it. Maybe just move the trackpad back to the center of the laptop itself. But then again, this is a gaming laptop, so you are going to use it with an external mouse anyway when you're trying to play games. So this shouldn't be a problem when you're gaming, but if you're using this laptop as a laptop portably, then yes, the trackpad is something to take note of. Okay, so the screen itself, this is a 15.6-inch screen, IPS LCD, with 1080p in resolution and 144Hz in refresh rate. Overall colors, I would say it's kind of a bit biased to the yellowish hue, and I do realize that there's some sort of, it looks a bit washed up, that's it. There's some sort of a white filter on top of it. It's kind of not really that noticeable, but because I have plenty of laptops here to try, and I also use a desktop beside me. So when I look at this screen, I immediately realize that there's just something off with the color. Not really much of an issue if we're using this laptop by itself, but the washed out part might cause some eye fatigue. And the bezels on this laptop is relatively thin, I would say, and the webcam is at the top where it should be. And one more thing that I want to highlight here is the hinge, because for some reason Acer did a really good job in terms of the hinge, because it can open all the way back, and I really like that. And so for the ports on this laptop, it's pretty good, I would say. On the left side here, you have a full-size Ethernet jack, double USB Type-A, 5 gigabits, and then on the right side here, you have a USB Type-C port at 10 gigabits, and then one more USB Type-A, also 10 gigabits, and then another full-size HDMI port. These are the things that I want to see on a laptop. No more USB 2.0, and I really like the fact that they included USB 3.2 Gen 2, the 10 gigabit one. And yeah, it's just really rare to see it on a laptop with this price. And one more thing that I really wish many other manufacturers would do is to put some ports at the back of the laptop, because it's pretty much unused space, and Acer put the AC jack at the back here. I'm not too sure about the whole implementation that Acer did it, because I do like it at the back, but because of this embellishment here, once you plug it in one side and the cable is parked, let's just say on the right side, if you want to rotate the cable to the left side, you have to unplug it, then switch to the other side and plug it back in. And that is because this piece of red plastic here is blocking the jack. Just remove this. So now when it comes to upgradability, this laptop right here, it's kind of weird. Acer did say on the laptop itself, this sticker, it does say that it comes with a total of 3 disk drive bays. So you got double M.2 and then another 2.5-inch drive bay. However, Acer also stuck on a warranty sticker here at the back. So yeah, I'm not too sure what they're thinking. But anyway, we open it up. Sorry, Acer. What we see inside is pretty amazing, I would say, because it does have good temperature thanks to that real big heat sinks for both the CPU and GPU, which I truly like, and everything in here is serviceable, so good job on that. Both of the RAM slots are user serviceable, which I really like, and the M.2 slot is kind of weird, I would say, because okay, the main M.2 slot is as usual, no problems there, one big PCB and then you just mount it on the top. As for the second M.2 slot, you have to mount it across from your motherboard onto the USB hub's sister board. So if there's any cable underneath it, it will make the whole M.2 SSD bulge up, which is just something that I'm not really, how do you say this, confident in, because if anything happens, your SSD might literally break inside. So do keep that in mind. And before I forget, you can actually add in another 2.5-inch storage bay thanks to the included upgrade kit that is included with the Nitro 5 2020 itself. So this one's a ribbon cable to connect your motherboard to the disk drive itself, and then they also come with this little caddy inside, and you just have to remove the caddy, use the included screws, screw your 2.5-inch drive onto that cage itself, then mount it back to the laptop itself, and then remember to connect that ribbon cable into this connector on the motherboard itself. And then you're ready to go. Okay, so as for the battery life itself, this Acer Nitro 5 2020 version comes with a 55 watt-hour battery. Not particularly the biggest, but in terms of battery life, you can get about 5 hours with our use case. This time around, we are not using Photoshop because it will literally just turn on the NVIDIA GPU and suck up a lot of power. So if you want to know the charging time of this laptop, it does take about 2 hours to charge from 15% all the way to 100%, which is actually pretty standard for laptops. Okay, so do I actually recommend the Acer Nitro 5 2020 edition? It's kind of a tough question, because this laptop, obviously if you are aiming purely for the specs itself and not really care about anything else, yes, it's a good deal, especially the upgradability part. I truly appreciate the fact that Acer made everything user serviceable, including the Wi-Fi card, but it does come with a Wi-Fi 6 card already, so I'm not sure why you want to change that out anyway. I/O ports, I really like that. And then please move more ports at the back, because yeah, just move the HDMI port at the back. I would really like more laptops to do that actually. And for the price of $4,899, I would say literally one of the best deals out there you can get for a laptop with these list of specs. But you do have to take note of all the build quality and the weird trackpad positioning. And that's about it. That's all we have to say about the Acer Nitro 5. If you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next video.